And hello, ladies and gents. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? My name is Omar Ramos from Univision Chicago, and we're doing this live broadcast starting right now on the official YouTube, LinkedIn, and nevertheless, of course, Facebook channel for the Chicago Advertising Federation. It's a beautiful day, a little chilly. We're at the Swiss Hotel, coming to you live, local, late breaking without any kind of filters added. Just wanted to get that out there real quick.
No filters.
Of course, right off of Wacker Drive and only blocks away from the lakefront in Navy Pier, Lake Michigan. And it's a very special day. Nevertheless, a very special month because obviously we're celebrating Women's History Month. And today, on this Thursday, Throwback Thursday, we're going to celebrate a very special individual, somebody that I'm honored to talk to you later on in this broadcast, Danielle Austin, of course, from Fluent 360. But not only are we going to find out, and I've obviously talked to Danielle, we're also going to be recognizing the up-and-coming rising stars. And that's why I have the honor, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you, coming up next, one of our rising stars. Her name is Chelsea Jenkins.
Hi.
Yay!
Yes.
Thank you for being my first official interviewee.
Let's kick it off. I'm ready.
How you doing?
Thanks for having me. I am doing so good. I feel so blessed to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you represent?
I'm from Kellogg's,
Okay.
the Kellogg Company. So all
Ooh.
the Frosted Flakes and Zucaritas and Pop-Tarts and Pringles that you can imagine. But yeah, I'm happy to be representing Kellogg's and be in the multicultural space, making sure there's representation for everyone.
That's amazing. I just want to add real quick, growing up in Central California, that was the cereal that my parents would buy us, my sisters and I, Tony the Tiger, Frosted Flakes. So thank you for being, it's a very nostalgic moment for me right now. But can I ask you, how did it all start for you? Why did you want to be part of the advertising industry?
I feel like we have this responsibility as advertisers that everyone deserves to be seen and see themselves authentically in our work and make sure that they're represented, positive portrayals, authentic portrayals that they can relate to. And so we're just looking to drive those connections with our consumers. It's something that everybody deserves. So to be on the front end of that with our brands is truly an honor, but ultimately a responsibility that we all have.
Can you describe to me what it is that you do like during the year? What are some of the obstacles, some of the things that you need to execute to make sure that things get done?
I think I have the best job in the world. 2 weeks ago, I remember I was going from Calle Ocho in Miami.
Calle Ocho.
Calle Ocho, the biggest Hispanic festival,
Of
right?
course.
I was at Expo West, South by Southwest, just all these amazing cultural experiences that I get to be a part of. But any given day, I am, teaching cultural intelligence internally at Kellogg's to make sure that we have that empathy and understanding of different communities. But also in our advertising, just making sure that we have the right insights to be authentic and have those connections right up front in the process, and also have the right expertise on the business throughout the whole, from briefing to execution. So what you see out in the world, we can really be proud of. And so that's a partnership with everyone from brands and agencies and innovation, like R&D and research, and our Omni teams and how we show up in the store. So it's so much fun to be a part of all of that. So every day is different,
Of course.
honestly.
It's like a reality show, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. It's never a dull moment.
Of course.
Never a dull moment. So it's exciting.
Very cool. So obviously tonight we're going to be recognizing the leadership that Danielle Austin has obviously portrayed, and that's the reason that they're celebrating tonight. Have you met her personally?
I have not. I have worked with Fluent 360 before, but I
Okay.
have not met Danielle. I cannot wait to meet her. I'm so inspired just with it being Women's History Month, just seeing the incredible women that are paving the way and making such a big impact in our industry. So I'm excited to celebrate her and learn from her and just be amongst some amazing women tonight. So
That's very cool. Once again, hanging out with Chelsea Jenkins, part of the Rising Stars individuals that will be recognized today. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
thank you. That
Have
was
a good
fun.
time. Thank you
Good
so
to
much.
see
Fist
you.
bump.
Thanks, everyone.
I don't even know if that's cool anymore, but there it was. There he goes. All right, very cool. So yes, once again, Chelsea Jenkins, part of the Rising Stars that will be recognized today. And we're doing this live, literally, on this virtual broadcast. Thanks once again to our friends from the Chicago Advertising Federation. I'm also excited because later on today, I have a new general manager. Her name is Edna, and we're going to make some noise for her as well because she was promoted at the beginning of this 2023. And my producer is telling me that we have Marlena Peleo Lazar coming up next. Hello. How are you? Can I ask you a very serious question?
Yes, go right
Did I
ahead.
pronounce your name correctly?
No.
Ay, ay, ay. All right, here we go. Once again, how do you pronounce your
It's
name?
Marlena Peleo.
Peleo. Okay, so it's Peleo, by the way.
That's
Peleo.
okay. You
All
were
right.
very close. You made me sound more exotic than I am.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm happy that you're here today.
Thank you.
You're officially my second person that I'm interviewing in this broadcast that we're doing live from downtown Chicago. Can you bring up your mic just a little bit more up so we can hear your voice?
Yeah, absolutely. How
All
about
righty.
that?
So today is a very special day.
Yes.
We are recognizing Danielle Austin. Now, obviously, the bigger picture is we're celebrating our women in advertising. Can you just kind of expand a little bit why that is so important?
Well, I'm a previous, a little bit long time ago, Ad Woman of the Year. And
Really?
Yes.
Okay, congratulations.
Former president of the CAF.
Okay.
I've always felt that women needed to be celebrated. I mean, all our consumers are women, a lot of them. And this really is a celebration for all the work that women do. And especially now, more than ever, it's really important to put women in the forefront where so many are leaving the field.
Yeah.
And, so I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to meet the up and coming generation of it. I'm excited about the prospects that women are moving into more leadership roles. So that's why I'm here tonight.
I want to pick your brain a little bit. Granted that, times have changed drastically. Obviously, the pandemic came in and hit us over the head.
You're right.
And advertisement has changed so much, especially for, the traditional way of doing advertising on radio and TV. How have you seen it evolved, for the better or for the worse?
Well, when I started in the business, yes, they did have a printing press, and yes, there were things on a cave. But when I started, it was all about, it was this magnificent thing about television, and that people did like just print ads. And if you could do a good print ad, you were considered pretty successful. I think it's so exciting and so creative now that there are all these mediums, but it's still about the idea.
Yes.
And I think that while it has changed, that part hasn't changed, where you have to have a good idea or it doesn't fly. So I'm learning every single day. That's one of the great things about being in advertising. If you are successful in advertising, you are truly a student of life and of business.
Yes.
And of creativity. And I've learned so much even in these last years. I have two sons that help me with that, but I work with a lot of millennials and other generational things. And I think it's one of the, I think that there'll be even more every single day. There's another way to communicate. Some of it not so happy.
Yes.
But some of it really exciting and I'm proud to be in an industry that's like that is always learning and trying to push the boundaries of how we learn and how we communicate.
Can I ask you, just to kind of piggyback on that, what are some of the elements that make an advertising company effective? How can advertising be more effective nowadays?
Well, it's fallen to, I am a creative person, so
Yes.
This is not to disparage
Okay.
all the analytics that go to. Some of it is very helpful. Some of it is really has helped me be a better creative person. But the emotional part about it, I think, is still lacking in a lot of ways. The emotional connection that you make with a consumer.
Right, like comedy? Is that what you're talking about? Or anyway?
Kind,
Okay.
any kind of emotional,
Okay.
any kind of emotional connection. And I think that we still have work to do on that, on insight and all of that other stuff. That touchy-feely stuff, as
Yes.
some clients call it,
Right.
is still so important with the analytics, with the stuff that you do learn.
All right. Good stuff. Well, this is a very unique opportunity for me because I'm talking to Marlena, past recipient of the Woman Advertising Woman of the Year Award, and I'm so happy that I had an opportunity to just stand here next to you and talk to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All righty. Have yourself an amazing evening. We're going to hand over the mic to Yvonne, who's wearing a yellow. Okay. Okay. All righty. So I might get a little nervous right now because we have the Advertising Woman of the Year recipient 2023 about to jump in the shot. Danielle, step on in. How are you? Oh my goodness. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. Huh?
I should use the mic.
Yes, please. that would help. First of all, it's an honor, privilege for me to be standing here next to you. Number 2, you look amazing.
Thank you.
And number 3, congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I feel incredibly humbled, actually, and surprised. I think it's wonderful. So excited. I was shocked by this honor, but I'm super excited about it.
So I was doing my research. You represent, obviously, Fluent 360, but that was not the original name. It all started back in the early 2000s. Can you talk about, can we kind of jump into that time machine and just talk about how it started and how it's evolved?
Yeah, so the agency started as Team Ignition back in 2008. And we started the agency with one client, a good one, a great one, Nissan North America.
Nice.
And we handled all of their multicultural marketing needs. So reaching African Americans, Asian Americans, US Hispanics, and the LGBTQ plus communities. And we started with 5 people in an office in Nashville, Tennessee. And over the years, we've grown, and now we're nearly 100 employees in 3 cities, and we are Fluent 360. We rebranded in 2015 because we thought it was important that people understood who exactly we were. And so that was part of the Fluent idea. We know people, we know cultures, we know identities.
How difficult is it to actually be the leader of an advertisement company and make sure that it stays afloat?
Oh my God. Well, it's business, right?
Yes.
It is challenging, and we've had some challenging times. Obviously, the toughest time was the pandemic. But the power of multicultural consumers, the power of our consumers is undeniable. And we are lucky in that we are in a growth mode, meaning our consumers are growing. They're becoming more and more powerful by the day. And our client partners honestly understand that. So really now the challenges are more about how do we stay ahead of the curve? How do we bring in the greatest people, the smartest minds to help us reach these important consumers?
We're talking to Danielle Austin, the recipient for the 2023 Advertisement Woman of the Year Award. That's my producer, by the way, Yvonne. Wave, Yvonne, right over there. Yeah, he's telling us to look at the camera a little bit more. But here we go. Yeah, so we're doing this live broadcast on the official Chicago Advertising Federation, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And, of course, honored here to be speaking to our friend, Danielle Austin, who will be awarded later tonight. I am a father of a 16-year-old who wants to be a chef, right, in the future.
Yeah.
She kind of has an idea of what she wants to do.
Okay.
Now, for women, I've heard in the past that they kind of discouraged about getting into advertising. What would you say to them so they can kind of like curb that discouragement?
Well, this is what I tell my employees all the time. Advertising, marketing needs all voices. A woman's voice is critically important to how we talk to consumers. And so I wouldn't be afraid as a woman. I would say one thing is true, that when we get to the table, when we are in the rooms, when we are doing advertising and marketing, it's important, critical that we use our voice. That's why we're there. They want us there for that. And I encourage girls and young women constantly, push yourself, don't let anything get in your way. Like head down, hard work, intelligence, no one can deny that. So I'm big on pushing. My daughter is here somewhere, and she hears it day in, day out.
That's amazing. Beautiful message. And last but not least, how long will your speech be later on tonight? We're just wondering. Because you might have a lot of people to thank, right?
I have a few people to thank, but I am trying to keep it around 12 minutes.
All right, good. Fair enough.
I'm not I don't believe in a lot of talking. So I'm more about action. So I am going to say some words, but
That's
I'm
great.
trying to keep it to 12 minutes.
Thank you so much. I know that there's a lot of a network that you still want to do tonight, so we want to appreciate your time. And congratulations once again on behalf of the company that I work for, Univision Chicago.
Yes.
So if you want to send some business our way,
Oh,
we'll be more than
do.
happy to. As for Ivan Garcia or Edna Uribe,
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
thank you. Have an
Have a good
amazing
one.
night. You can have
Okay.
the mic right over there. And, woo, kind of broke a sweat there. Got a little nervous with the recipient for the 2023 Advertisement Winner of the Year Award. And we have somebody else walking this way. Camille Johnson.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I noticed your smile from back there.
Oh, thank you.
You must be a very happy person.
I would say so. I am a little happy.
Well, it is Thursday, Throwback Thursday.
It is.
Can
It's
I-
an exciting day, too.
Can I ask you a very random question?
Absolutely.
What is your all-time favorite Throwback Thursday song?
Ooh, Throwback Thursday song.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Can We Talk, Tevin Campbell. That is a good
Wait
throwback.
a second. You're from like back then?
Oh, absolutely. Back then, it's a classic. It's a
Yeah.
classic song.
Yeah, I actually bought that CD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in layaway back in the day. Because I was in college and I didn't have the money to buy stuff right away, so I would put it on layaway. A big fan of Tevin Campbell for sure.
See, you have good taste. You have good taste.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Camille, tonight's a special night.
It is a special night, yes.
Why did you want to be here?
Well, I am actually a public relations account supervisor at an inclusive marketing agency like Fluent 360 called Paco Collective. And so seeing an opportunity to celebrate a Black woman in advertising, especially in a city that I love like Chicago,
Right.
what an exciting night. So yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about like the work that you do
Absolutely.
and who you represent and that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a number of nonprofit organization support work that we do. Some from Hope Chicago,
Okay.
which really has a unique two-parent model where it helps connect a parent and scholars, so secondary education, as well as a number of medical accounts such as Aetna, Cano Health, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Chicago and Northern Illinois, and then also a number of internal organizations that we try to support, such as these type of events,
Yes.
trying to make sure that we connect with amazing people in inclusive marketing.
Yeah.
And I actually went to DePaul. So when I went to DePaul, I majored in public relations, but also minored in African Black diaspora studies. For I really believe public relations and how we see culture and trends is so unique and special. And so seeing these type of events spotlighting that is even why I'm even more excited to be in the current role that I'm in.
How do you feel about the representation right now? Do we need to keep it going or?
Absolutely. I feel like the ceiling continues to open. And I think the more that we ask the difficult questions, the more we spotlight Black women in power, like Danielle, seeing all these different ways of having that kind of unique storytelling, it makes me more excited to go to work every day.
How well do you know Danielle and how excited are you about her being
So,
recognized this way tonight?
I know the inner workings of her team. I have actually a really deep friend of mine actually is a member at Fluent 360 or an account supervisor. So seeing what he's done within the house of Fluent 360, I know that obviously power comes from the top and discipline comes from the top. And he is so disciplined in his work and his dedication to inclusive marketing that I think it speaks to Danielle's commitment as well.
Okay, so tonight, obviously you're here. Are you on your own or are you just kind of networked?
No, I'm actually with my boss.
Oh, right back here.
Jessica.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now you have about 15 seconds to send a message to Danielle Austin.
Well, Danielle, I don't know if you know me. We haven't had a fortunate opportunity to meet, but I want to say that seeing the trajectory of your career, seeing your love of advertising and your love of inclusive marketing, it is really a deep appreciation that I have. That I'm able to do my job is because you've opened the doors for it. So again, thank you. I'm celebrating you, and I can't wait to actually have a formal introduction to you tonight.
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Appreciate
you.
your time, Camille.
Of course. Thank
Have
you.
fun.
Thanks.
Keep
I will.
on smiling. Beautiful
Thanks.
smile. Camille Johnson, for sure. And if you're just tuning in, we're coming to you live from the Seuss Hotel downtown Chicago for the 2023 Woman of the Year Awards. Of course, thanks to our friends from Chicago Advertising Federation and nevertheless, Fluent 360, BET Networks, and Omnicon Advertising Collective and Omnicon Group. My name is Omar Ramos, better known as Omarcillo, and coming up next, and I hope I say your name correctly.
I'll help
and
you.
if I don't
I'll
be mad.
I'll help you.
Shanita
Akintande.
Akintande. Shanita Akintande.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I feel better now. I'm feeding off your positive
yes,
energy.
my positive juju.
We're 17 days away from Easter. Are you ready for Easter?
I'm always ready for Easter. As a kid, I would do Easter egg hunts, and I was the person that would take all the eggs and come back with like one or two because the kids in my neighborhood would beat me to find my own eggs.
So you were a go-getter.
I was, but now I make my own Easter hunt, so I make sure I find the eggs. I hide them and I find them.
Make sure to invite us. So my name is Omar Ramos Omarcillo. I'm a radio talent and TV talent for Univision Chicago. I'm happy to be here at the Chicago Advertising Federation. And, doing my research on Danielle Austin, I'm just excited that a Black woman is being celebrated this way.
Absolutely. I saw Danielle a few moments ago and I told her, Danielle, I'm so proud of you, not only because you're a Black woman, and that's part of the pride that I feel being a fellow Black woman in advertising and knowing the challenges of that, but she's just a phenomenal person overall. And every year as the Chicago Advertising Federation sits down and makes a decision on who to select as the Advertising Woman of the Year, we're very intentional about who we select. And so we are excited and honored that Danielle is wearing that crown this year.
That's amazing. I know I got ahead of myself here a little bit, but Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Shanita Akintande. I mentioned I'm a proud board member of the Chicago Advertising Federation.
Okay.
I was a professor for 23 years until last May. I taught advertising, public relations, and marketing courses here at Columbia College Chicago. And now I'm president of my own consulting practice, Shanita Speaks, LLC, where I teach people how to lead better, listen better, and love better themselves and those that may appear to be different.
Well, that was a huge jump. What was it that took for you to make that decision, that career change, that career leap? Yeah.
Well, being in advertising, I've been doing this since I was spelling my Bologna's first name. So I've been doing it a long time. But I feel that I moved the path that was kind of illuminated in front of me to take my talents and abilities in a different way, to utilize them to help corporations and individuals reach their pinnacle of success in the field. And it's been very gratifying and really very, very satisfying to me to be able to do it in a different way.
Oh, that is such motivating words for anybody that's watching right now. If you feel like you need change in your life, great testimony right here. We want to appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a good time.
Oh, and thank you for having me.
And keep on smiling. You have a beautiful smile, by the way.
I appreciate
With all due
you.
respect. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Mike, right over here this way.
Thank you.
And we are waiting for our next guest, whose name, by the way, is Jose Suaste, who is also joining us at this very memorable event coming to you live from downtown Chicago. Right over here.
Just walk in. Is
Good
that
man, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm feeling a little underdressed now because I was thinking about maybe bringing a tie, and you brought the tie. Now I feel underdressed. Thank you very much.
It's okay, man. It's my boss is the Ad Woman of the Year, so I had to do the dress up thing. You know
Danielle.
what I mean? Yeah, Danielle is my boss.
I just had her with us here a couple moments ago.
Yeah.
What a fascinating woman.
She's amazing. She's an amazing person, man, and a generous person.
Yeah, and she's being recognized as the 2023 Advertising Woman of the Year. Can you tell us about the professional relationship that you have with her and what makes her so great?
Yeah, so I'm the chief creative officer at our advertising agency, and we specialize in multicultural advertising. And it's true multicultural for us because we represent African American, U.S. Hispanic or Latinx, Asian American, and LGBTQ plus audiences, and that's what we do. So that's what makes our work so amazing.
Yeah.
Is that's literally how the agency started. She saw that there was a need to really speak to these audiences in an authentic and nuanced way. And that's how she started the agency back in 2008. And I've been with her for almost 6 years now.
And how does it make you feel that she's being recognized this way?
Well, to me, she's always been great. And I'm not just saying that because she's my boss.
Yeah. But
no, it feels great because the recognition should be there for people who are actually actively trying to make sure that people of color are represented properly. That's first and foremost. And so I think it's amazing.
You just mentioned something right now, and I want to pick your brain, and I want to apologize if this maybe comes out the wrong way, but the Latinx thing has kind of triggered some issues with the Latin community. Why we're messing with the language. How do you feel about that?
Listen, it's all regional, it's all cultural, right?
Okay.
Like there are people in different parts of the country that refer to themselves in different ways, and we just have to be respectful and make sure that we're inclusive. Like I'm from Texas. We call ourselves Chicanos down there.
Texas!
It's Chicanos down in Texas, but that's not everybody. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, we have to understand that society is constantly evolving. You know what I mean? And so, just because something is one way one day, it might be. Look at where we are with the movements that have been happening since in the last recent year with Me Too, Time's Up, Black Lives Matter. You name it. It's just been a constant evolution. So I get it. While some people may not personally use it.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like it's just a word. It's just language. As long as we're acknowledging each other and pushing each other forward, man, I don't care. I think it's great.
All right. So we're
Yeah, man.
talking to Jose Suaste from Fluent 360, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. I want to ask you also, how have you guys acclimated to post-pandemic? What were some of the challenges that you guys dealt with,
Yeah.
and how you're going about it now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest challenge for us was because we're such a diverse agency.
Yeah.
And we have so many different backgrounds. I think that was the biggest, like for us, like one of the casualties of the pandemic is that we don't get to be in the office and really learn from each other, protect each other. Because like just because you know something about multicultural one day, like I said, it keeps evolving,
Yeah.
So we have to kind of keep protecting each other. But we've been able to have immense growth during that time.
Yeah.
After the uprising and the protests of 2020,
Yeah.
a lot of companies realized that they weren't touching the communities as much as they thought they were, and that was a good space for us to kind of come in and be able to guide them through the process. Man.
Yeah,
So,
and last but not least, I want to ask you, where is advertising headed? Is it all digital, or can we still keep some money in the traditional radio and TV?
I think it really is about like who you are as a brand,
Okay.
and where you're strong.
Okay.
Some brands are strong in the digital space. Some brands are strong in the physical space.
Okay.
So it really is about like who you are and what your product is and how you're going to get to the people. Man.
Yeah, because
So-
Google and Facebook has kind of kicked us in the butt a little bit in the
Sure,
radio,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
we're trying to do what we can.
Listen, I know a lot of people still listen to the radio, man.
Okay,
Especially
cool.
the guys going to work in the morning,
Yeah,
6
yeah.
a.m. So yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Well, I have a radio show, by the way, on
Yeah.
Latino Mix 93.5, which is top 40 Latin music.
Yeah.
So I'm Chicano just like you,
Absolutely.
and I'm proud that you're here, man, and I hope you have a good time.
Thanks, man. You too, man. It's nice
All right,
meeting you.
good stuff. My hands,
Good stuff, man.
a little,
it's all
little
right.
damp.
It's all right.
There you
It's all
go.
right, brother. Thank
All
you so
right.
much, man. All
Thank
right.
you. Awesome. So that was Jose Suaste, creative director at Fluent 360. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and just kind of hang out with us. We're randomly bringing in guests. They're mingling, they're networking, they're socializing, and of course, somebody by the name of Alex Fido said, "I got to be there tonight." Alex, walk right over here. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Good evening to you.
evening.
Welcome to the 2023 Chicago Advertising Federation
Yes.
Woman of the Year Award. Tell
Yes.
us, why did you want to be here tonight?
So I'm the executive vice president,
Okay.
managing director of Fluent.
Oh, right on.
So I work with the Woman of the Year.
You bring up your mic just a little
I
bit more so
work-
we can hear. There we
I
go.
work for the Woman of the Year, and so
Okay.
I'm proud, and I'm here supporting her.
Yeah, we were just talking to Jose, and he had like just amazing things to say about Danielle.
Yeah.
Can you expand a little? Why is this moment deserving for her?
Yeah. So I've been with her for 12 years now,
Oh wow, okay.
and
So you're one of the original 5 employees.
I am one of the original 5.
Wow,
employees.
right here,
Yeah.
standing here with us.
Yes, and yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. She's an inspiration. She's, I mean, we've just gone through a lot together,
Yeah.
and I'm very inspired by her every single day. She's helped me grow professionally and personally, and so I owe her a lot, and very grateful, and I'm proud of her.
Can you talk about a little bit about what you do with Fluent 360?
Yeah, so I'm the executive vice president, managing director.
Yeah.
And so effectively, I'm responsible for all things related to our clients' business, staffing, profitability, keeping people inspired, which is, I try and learn from her.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, one of my ex-general managers, he would always mention the word market. The
Yeah.
market's hot, the market is slow.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how's the market right now?
It's always tough for multicultural.
Okay.
I would say that a couple of years ago, with the murder of George Floyd, that really sparked a lot of interest,
Yeah.
a lot of engagement. We benefited from that greatly, but we've seen a drop off,
Okay.
right? It's kind of that news cycle, and brands start to reevaluate their commitment, and it's a little wobbly, but we're doing great. We have great clients. We're growing by leaps and bounds effectively every year. And our new business team seems to think there's a lot of opportunities out there. And so, but we are seeing a little bit of nervousness around the economy.
Okay.
And so we're kind of just watching to see what brands start to do and whether they're pulling back or not, or, this is one of the recessions that's always been like, Are we? Are we not? Are we going to do it?
Yeah.
Usually it's like, oh, we're headed in a recession.
Yeah.
Everybody hold your hat. And on this cycle, it's been right. But I think Jamie Dimon actually, I think, said just a couple of days ago that it's guaranteed now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we believe him? I don't know.
Well, as a Hispanic individual, I want to ask you as well, how do you see, how healthy is the Hispanic market? And where do you see the business kind of triggering there in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, Hispanics, powerhouse, been here for a long time. I came here from Mexico when I was 18
Okay.
to LA.
All right. So hablas español.
Sí, soy de México.
Ah, bueno, okay.
Mi mamá es panameña,
Okay.
mi papá es italiano,
Okay.
por eso no me veo así muy mexicano, pero
no,
yo
está
viví
bien.
en el DF, en Aguascalientes y en Guadalajara.
Okay. So just to break that down, his mom is from Panama. His dad is from Mexico, and he was born in
My
Mexico.
dad is Italian.
Italiano.
Yo viví en México.
Okay. Y él nació en México. ¿Naciste en México?
No, actually, I was born in Boston,
Okay.
but I lived in Mexico the first 18 years of my life.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
That's interesting, man.
yeah.
Quite a story.
I'm a mutt. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Quite a story, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thank you very much for stopping
thank
by and
you.
speaking to us.
Absolutely.
We're glad that we're doing this, especially in this very important month, celebrating Women's History Month.
Absolutely.
Nevertheless, Danielle, tonight, thank you so much for your time. Muchas gracias por tu
Hey,
tiempo.
gracias.
Sale. Okay. So that was Mr. Fino, and we're on standby for our next guest. Once again, we're coming to you live from the Swiss Hotel, downtown Chicago, only blocks away from, obviously, the lakefronts. And I think we have Mr. Mark Riverman ready to rock and roll. Yes. He was actually sipping on some very nice wine, but hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Can I ask you why you said I got to show up at the 2023 Advertisement Woman of the Year Awards?
Well, Danielle Lawson is my boss,
Okay.
and I've been working with Danielle for coming on 7 years now.
All right. So you're not part of the original employees.
Not part of the original employees, but some of the recent employees, one of the first after they rebranded the agency,
Okay.
when we grew from just Nissan as a client to now all the clients that we have today. So kind of helped with that move.
All right. Good stuff. Mr. Riverman, can you describe your title, your
Sure.
job with Fluent 360?
Yeah, so I'm the vice president of business integration.
Okay.
Which essentially means I lead all the growth initiatives, all new client development, scope development.
How tough is that?
It's pretty tough.
Okay. I can imagine.
It's a competitive field.
Yeah.
But one of the things about Fluent 360 that attracted me was that we really have a point of differentiation between other multicultural agencies, and there was an opportunity to build on that, expand that, and set ourselves apart. So, that's why I'm here.
All right. Can you talk a little bit about Danielle? What makes her such an amazing leader?
Danielle really entrusts her senior leaders
Okay.
to execute her vision,
Okay.
right? And so she's a leader that inspires, but at the same time, she says, "Look, I'm entrusting you with this," and she has the confidence and the trust in her senior leaders, and that really motivates us, from to take teams and kind of bring that vision to life, and we don't see. We don't experience situations where she's over us, kind of like manhandling us to execute, right? She really keeps herself at a certain position, and she really wants us to kind of bring it to life and lead. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, no doubt that you have somebody that's leading you the correct way, and what you do, it sounds very interesting. What would you say to the future generations that might want to get into advertising? Because we have all these college students,
Yeah.
all these students that come out of high school, out of college, they have no idea what they want to do. Why would advertisement be a good option?
First of all, I would back off and I would say just marketing in general.
Okay.
Marketing, advertising, kind of the whole ecosystem of what you do, what I do,
Yeah.
the world that we live in. I think it's an exciting field. Primarily because I really feel like we're a very big influencer on societal trends and influences and movements, and we're able to really look at people and what they're doing and shape it and form it and not only help brands but really speak to consumers. And I feel like there are very few, if any, other categories that you can get into that you can say that you're really, really doing that, right? we touch nonprofit. We touch obviously for-profit, nonprofit. We touch virtually anyone that wants to communicate to humanity and get targeted even down to specific groups of people, communities on a hyper-local level to a national, global level. What else can you say can do that?
Right. Yeah. The sports industry, have you tapped into that? Is that future business? Oh, and how difficult is it to get into professional sports teams business, stuff like that?
We're very proud to say that, through our client Nissan, we've worked with the Mexican national team for 7 years, kind of activating the brand, but with the Mexican national team. So we've been very close to sports and in different ways, right? We've been fortunate to talk to many of the different franchises here in Chicago. And it all depends upon whether their vision meets our vision.
Okay.
Do we have an overlap philosophically what we're trying to do with our people and what they want to do with people, and sometimes it works out and it aligns and sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. You know what I mean? We believe that the brands that stick with us are the ones where we feel like there's an alignment as to what we're trying to do.
Alignment for sure. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate your words. Congratulations and keep it up, I guess, right?
Thank you so much.
All right, good stuff. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Right over there. Okay. So we've had the opportunity, obviously, to talk to some of the rising stars, nevertheless, some employees at Fluent 360, and of course, the celebrated Woman of Tonight. Such a beautiful thing. Being a girl dad, it's just beautiful that I can participate this way, that I can kind of put my little granite and say, you know what, I participated this way to endorse and empower our women in the official History Month that ends, by the way, on the 31st of March. But we have some more guests coming up right this way. Mr. Michael Clark, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm happy. Not that long ago, I was participating in the Advertising Man of the Year Award. Now we're going to celebrate our amazing women, Danielle Austin, and I'm sure you wanted to be here for this super celebration.
Just for her, it's an auspicious occasion. Danielle, I've known her for many years in the industry.
Yes.
We've worked together at when she was at an agency called Footsteps Multicultural Agency. And I've kind of followed her career and very proud of what she's doing at Fluent 360 with accounts like Infinity and US Army. She's worked on State Farm. Brilliant strategy, multiculturalism was at one point dying on the vine. She's one of the vanguards that helped save it and bring multiculturalism to the fore. Hispanic targeting, Asian targeting, African American targeting. I think brands are still forgetting this target market, and I'm sure you have a story too. But
many for sure. Brett, before we get more ahead with this interview, and thank you so much for making the time to speak to us. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? Your background, please.
My background. I work for a company called GeoMedia. It's a publishing company. We have 12 brands that focus on various aspects of culture, the root being Black culture, and Lifehacker, Quartz Media. We have Jezebel and Kotaku and The Onion. So a very eclectic mix that really appeals to various aspects of culture.
Yeah, it keeps it interesting, no
Reaching
doubt.
95 million.
Yeah, for sure. Can I ask you a very simple question? Where is marketing and advertising headed?
I would love to salvage and keep the spirit of it.
Yeah.
But I think machination is where, the trade desk is really where all signs are pointing in terms of the media or the advertising sales side. But I think it's all rooted in data and being able to serve up specific audiences contextually, maybe in some cases demographically, what we see what Google is doing with demolishing that model. So being able, contextual marketing, I think is important. AI and artificial intelligence and all these trends are really emerging to drive and change the conversation around media and marketing, media marketing. So
yeah, the times that we live in, right?
Those are the buzzwords right now.
Those are the buzzwords for sure. Well, I know that you want to keep on networking and socialize tonight. I'm going to give you the time you want to send Danielle a message in this live broadcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. Congratulations. There's no one more deserving to get this honor tonight. We celebrate you at Geo Media, and congratulations for this auspicious honor. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good time, for sure. So I'm going to hand this mic over to somebody that I talked to you guys about earlier in this broadcast that happens to be my boss at Univision Chicago. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you, without further ado, my general manager, president, and DOS of Univision Chicago. Please give it up for Edna Uribe. Woo!
I do my own cheering here. If I don't
No. I heard some claps back here.
It's like, woo.
Edna, so I kicked this off this broadcast about 30 minutes ago. I've had the opportunity to speak to some of the rising stars. Nevertheless, the women that we're celebrating tonight are recognizing Danielle Austin. But I also want to take this moment to acknowledge and congratulate you, because it's a very important 2023. Back in January, I found out that you got promoted, deservedly so.
Can you believe it?
Are you still like on cloud nine? Did you already come back down? How you feeling? Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Omar. So the announcement in 2023 was not Cloud9. It was like, let's get rolling.
Let's rolling.
Do this. So all good. I think this is super exciting.
Yes.
The fact that we're celebrating the Ad Woman of the Year, the fact that we're actually hyper focusing on who is in our industry, what makes up our industry, and what kind of changes are going in the industry is super exciting. So I couldn't be happier that we have Danielle. Couldn't be happier to have you here helping us out.
Yeah.
Couldn't be happier to be part of the Chicago Advertising Federation, because I know there's a lot of very good things happening.
Yes, for sure. And we're having a blast, and people are showing up little by little. We're only like blocks away from the lakefront, downtown Chicago, Swiss Hotel. Can you expand a little bit and talk about Danielle Austin, the professional relationship you have with her, and why is it so important to recognize our women, especially in our African American community?
Well, most importantly is to recognize the merits of someone that has been exceptional in this year. So Ad Woman of the Year really recognizes the year and the impact that they've had in this year. So Danielle's efforts are not just this year's. She's had a trajectory of successes, but the fact that she's recognized today is super important, because what's happening is we're coming out of a pandemic. We're now all of a sudden up and going, and like here the world just shifted, and now we get to celebrate all the efforts and all the impact that she and her agency had with us in the industry, in our communities. By the way, she doesn't just do African American. She also is an advocate for Hispanic, which is our community, right?
Course.
That's who we represent. So that alone makes it extra special for me personally.
Yeah, I was fascinated just to read her story, how it all started back in 2006 with one client, 5 employees, and it's evolved now to having 3 offices spread out through the United States, and it's an amazing story. Kind of parallel, right? To you, when you started in sales and you made your way up, and here you are, like La Mera Mera.
Correction, I started in research.
All right.
So I know my numbers inside and out. So yes, La Mera Mera Pelotera. So anyways, we're about to head in there.
Yes.
I think this will be our last interview. So all I want to say is thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to my team. Thank you to the Chicago Ad Federation. I'm looking forward to many, many more years. Congratulations, Danielle, and hoping this is one of many more interviews we keep going for this federation.
Well, just tell me when and pencil me in for sure. So Edna Uribe, once again, our president, general manager, and a DOS at Univision Chicago. My name is Omar Cillo from Latino Mix 93.5, also sports anchor on the weekends at Univision Chicago. Anything else you might want to add to our audience, virtual audience?
Have a wonderful time. I hope you guys learned a little bit about who our guests were, who 360i Fluent is, and Danielle, of course. And at the end of the day, all we want to do is encourage this industry to continue to be creative, to continue to be diverse, and to continue to participate. Because at the end of the day, creative people and ideas is what really thrives this industry. So with that said, Let's do this.
All right. Thank you again for your time and your leadership. Se agradece mucho. And ladies and gents, once again, thank you so much for following us on this live broadcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course, our friends at YouTube. Chicago Advertising Federation. I want to say this is where we wrap up, Ivan. All right, this is where we wrap up. So again, congratulations to Danielle Austin at Fluent 360, and of course the rising stars that will be recognized tonight. And please stand by if you'd like to share this interview, this live broadcast. Go ahead and do so. Thank you to our creative services, Aime, Daisy, Ivan, and everybody watching. Have yourself an amazing weekend and a happy Easter, everyone. Adios.